I believe we are live. Should all be good, should all be good, should all be good. So today, I don't want to take too many of your minutes because I think we're live and we're good here to go. I just want to quickly say, all right, I still need to get, of course, a little story going, but I just want to quickly say, the market is in one of the most interesting points it's been at for a very, very long time. And what I mean with that is almost all the impulses here, almost all the news, almost all I'm seeing is all exciting, all bullish, all crazy, all good. But there's a couple of key caveats here which I've got to show you that I think make this all a bit more awkward. And I want to break it down by essentially saying what's going on right now is there's a massive amount of fear in crypto for some very specific things. And those two things are, let me quickly show it to you. There's a few things, but let me quickly show you at least two of these things right here. If I can open it up, it's not opening up for some reason. Here we go. There we go. I will show you at least three things right now, right here, that I think are quite crucial. Number one, all right, the first initial thing I want to show you is quickly this right here. President Trump, unfortunately, in recent years, the US government sold tens of thousands of Bitcoin that would now be worth billions. From this day forward, America will follow the rule every Bitcoiner knows. Never sell your Bitcoin. Like what? So let's quickly give this a little look.
Fortunately, in recent years, the US government has foolishly sold tens of thousands of additional Bitcoin that were worth billions and billions of dollars had they not sold them, but they did sell them, mostly during the Biden administration. Not a good thing to have done. From this day on, America will follow the rule that every Bitcoin knows very well. Never sell your Bitcoin. That's a little phrase that they have. I don't know if that's right or not. Who the hell knows, right? Who knows? Who knows? But so far, it's been right.
Little side note, is this new? Has this just popped up in my face again and I forgot about it like a while back? Because I remember this like, who knows, who the hell knows? But Trump says these things perhaps quite often. So maybe I just have forgotten that this all came through like a while back as well.
And well, let's keep it that way.
But basically he's just saying, you know, the government should not be selling their Bitcoin no more. And again, could be that this was a while back, but it's kind of interesting, this thought process of the US government really starting to become more of a unit when it comes to this crypto stuff. Like you can say that they will still follow their own interest and perhaps sell if they make a lot of profit. But I'm thinking Trump, he's got too much riding on this. He knows he can make so much money by milking the freaking bajankas of this crypto, let's call it cow. All right. I don't think he's going to let this go out slowly. He's going to try his best of his best of his best to make sure this stays at the top of the top. Now, here's a middle post that I thought was kind of funny. American shoppers spent a record $11.8 billion on Black Friday, up 10%-ish, 9.1% from last year. Adobe Analytics, which track over 1 trillion US retail site visits, expects shoppers to spend $5.5 billion on Saturday and $5.9 billion on Sunday, up 3.8 and 5.4%. So, I mean, it's kind of logical. People right now, they get more, like one thing a lot of people are not understanding is when the stock market goes so well, and we've established in previous posts that a lot of the pressure right now, or a lot of the stock purchasing right now, I'm not sure where of my tabs I've got this open, is retail right here. Retail investors are rewriting the market playbook. Individual investors are now on track for their 23rd consecutive monthly net purchase of stocks. This is only behind the 32-month streak posted between April 2020 and November 2022. Furthermore, retail has been a net buyer of ETFs for 158 consecutive trading days. Retail investors have net sold ETFs in just 6 days since the beginning of 2024, all while individual investors have purchased more call than put options on net for 29 consecutive weeks, the longest streak on record. Individual investors are redefining the markets by just being freaking bulls throughout the whole AI bubble, whatever. They just keep holding through, they just keep buying more. And I keep saying, even though it may feel like everybody's getting poorer and poorer, it's not necessarily true. The markets have been crazy, crazy good for a while. And so theoretically speaking, people should actually have more schmeckles at this point. Again, not always officially true, but that's theoretically speaking what should be happening. Anyway, I wanted to cover one more little piece here. And I think this is basically the essence of my stream here today, the essence of my video. You guys are saying old video, all good, all good. Take a look at this. One thing a lot of y'all will not accept, but you have to, I think there's no way around it, is this right here. The real correction of the crypto market here, all this stuff, will most likely only be over after MicroStrategy and Tether's FUDs run down or end or get over. Now, what are these two things? This theoretically speaking, this MicroStrategy event could actually be the #1 reason for our markets to crash. Could be. Tether has not really brought any massive downwards impulses on the market thus far. However, remember, it very well could be. Just like with MicroStrategy, the majority of us did not know it until it was like a month old or something like that. This happened on October 10th, where, let's just say, they're questioning now whether MicroStrategy, the largest holder of Bitcoin, is actually a company or a fund. And if it's a fund, that would be very, very bad. But they claim they're not. But that's a good discussion. And the results, I think, we'll get on the 10th of January 2026. And Tether, they just got themselves a downgraded rating from the S&P. And the reason that's bad is because, why? What are they looking at Tether for to downgrade it? And people are now wondering, when is this news going to cascade down? Will it happen after December 10th, after we get ourselves that Federal Reserve interest cut rate? And right after that, interest rate cut. And right after that, since there's no more anticipation of a major event, only MicroStrategy on January 2026, that we're going to mostly see some downside because of all this downwards pressure. Somebody says Dusty doesn't like a Dusty like button. There we go. Make sure you press that like button if you haven't done it yet. That's true. Somebody says pull up a silver chart. Brother, silver has been going out of control. No. Holy shit. Holy crap. Whoa. So if you're wondering what's going on here, this is silver. That is insane for silver. Whoa. That is really, really quite staggering. That is a little bit crazy to me. And you guys are asking about XRP, or BTC. So somebody's asking, is the bull run over? No. So for example, now, this is what we drew out yesterday during the stream, where actually a few days ago, I called out for 93,000 to be the local top. Right now, you can see, why is this an interesting level to watch out for? Why do we get rejected? You can see previously, we bounced off of 93,000 so ridiculously many times. And, well, I mean, eventually we broke through. Then afterwards, you can see here, found, again, support at 93 before moving the base upwards. Right now, again, we just following previous price action, expected this level to most likely hold for at least a little bit, as again, the momentum wasn't necessarily that strong. We got rejected right here. And I said personally that if I was a person that's really tight on my money, I would just sell everything there again because we're in neutral. I'm getting close towards the middle of neutral and wait for a good buy opportunity. If it was scared money, I'm not though. I'm more along the side of, I prefer to always have exposure. I'd get more scared, of course, if we go higher and higher towards 110, and more excited as we get towards like 83 or below, because those are, again, relatively good buying areas. We just now yesterday got rejected at 93,000, and I was, yesterday got rejected at 93,000. Right now, it's again a little bit of a waiting game. Right now, we're in the neutral zone. Buying and selling both make sense. However, you're only getting yourself a good deal if you're buying, in my opinion, below 83,000, and you're only getting a good deal to sell above 111, let's say 110. This is all like the middle zone where it's okay, right? All your choices are okay, but a good sell would have been 93. Again, if you didn't though, we're neutral, so both buying and selling here still make sense. These are just important levels. For XRP, all I keep saying is all these short-term levels, I don't think neither of them are any crazy importance. What is mostly interesting and peculiar to watch out for is the move that we saw back in, let's call it the early 2025, a massive pullback of roughly 55% before a massive surge of roughly 133%. Right now, again, the come down is basically almost the same, 51%. Nobody can tell me that XRP, even though this is no analysis of that sort, it's just logically looking at the price. Nobody can tell me that we can't get another surge of a similar sort of momentum, a similar sort of stature, similar sort of craziness going, because if you really start breaking it down, we didn't even make ourselves the same bottom, right? We're slowly but surely surging up. Sure, it's only very minimal, but I mean, that just depends on your perspective. As it currently stands, we are actually making ourselves, at least in my opinion, we have made ourselves a higher bottom. As the previous bottom here, we can see, right? If we're taking a look at close or something like that. But the previous bottom here, let's just say somewhere along this line, we had 192, maybe here, we had about the open 192. Here was the bottom. The close right here, about 205, and this open about 205. So we actually stopped, let's say 10 cents higher than what we stopped at in March 2025, so earlier this year. this was a bottom, sure, but it's a significantly higher bottom. And together with that we had significantly higher prices throughout, obviously, this period as well. Sure, it's not converging perhaps as perfectly as we want right here, but the idea still counts that, theoretically speaking, right, we made ourselves a massive impulse, made a high, made a massive bottom, right? Right after that, made another higher high, then made a higher bottom, with this higher bottom being close, right? Being similar, but again, it's finding support slightly above what we found that previously, basically finding it at this little, I guess, support on the way upwards. Somebody says, Dusty, thanks for pulling up the silver chart. And Mrs. says, Dusty, can we need more chat emojis, please? Are all the emojis gone? Oh, just Molly coming at the $2 saying, thank you for pulling up the silver chart. Hey, all good, my brother. So don't you have those emojis anymore? Like these ones? Maybe I can add some more. Oh, okay, you want some new emojis, huh? I'll try my best to make that to get that done for you. I didn't know that was a thing that people wanted. So if you're wondering, somebody's asking me in the chat here. Let me quickly pull you up. If we can get some new emojis, and some people have some extra emojis, but not all of them. 1 second, somebody's calling me. Not a problem, but just wondering exactly why. There we go. All right. So yeah, that about that. By the way, if you've not done it yet, make sure you go ahead and press that like button. Again, I'm not going to take much of your time. I just want to quickly discuss these things. I wanted to again say that we had ourselves the CME crash, the CME issue just now. Right now, ratings or the probability of a Fed rate cut within it's like a week and a half now. Times are starting to move fast. Is obviously 87%. I personally consider this to be 99%. Something crazy can happen, of course, but most likely we'll get ourselves a rate cut this December. If we don't, be ready because your portfolio is probably going to go in the garbage bin for a while, right? I'm just warning you, if this happens, you better make sure you're ready for some, you better apply some moisturizer on whatever you're going to get pounded at, right? Because it's not going to be fun, most likely. Having said that, pretty quickly afterwards, just besides the charts, besides, again, where I think the most crucial points are for price, completely besides that, I personally think every single person all of a sudden is going to turn back around and start screaming about these pieces, all right? These pieces, like MicroStrategy, the FUD around that, because again, it's 1 month after that. Right now, nobody is talking about it. I am putting out there right now, there's a very good chance all of a sudden this is going to turn back around and become a big thing. I am warning you guys right now about that. And second of all, the Tether FUD, right now, again, it just popped up out of nowhere, kind of. Nobody seems to care. These things, for some strange reason, sometimes take some time to marinate. There's a very good chance that within a few weeks, right after this rate cut, right after things look really, really bloomy again, that all of a sudden, somebody's going to throw some dirt, throw it in front of our face, throw it in front of our, whatever we're walking, right? And you freaking almost slip because they threw some ice and some dirt in there. Right? You almost fall a few consecutive times. Why? Because this happens every single time. It's their playbook. Remember, on October 10th, what was the main news? It was Trump's new tariffs to China. But then when you start breaking it down, it was also at the same time AI, something along those lines, AI. Well, no, we really crashed because of Trump's tariffs. But why all of a sudden was that the worst crash ever for crypto by tenfold? Why all of a sudden did exchanges also have some issues? And nobody talked about it back then. No, it was only after people said, oh, actually, this certain huge exchange had some issues. This certain exchange did this and that. This attacker came in on that day as well. Very, very peculiar. And then only a little bit after that, like 3 weeks after, we come to find out that on that exact same day, there was a massive amount of MicroStrategy FUD that nobody knew about. Like almost nobody knew that was happening. Was the market crashing because of MicroStrategy? Was it because of the exchange that should not be named? Or was it because of Trump? Or a combination of all? Who knows, right? Only afterwards do we realize all these different factors. And here's the thing. Many people already knew the vulnerabilities. Many people already knew some things of this sort way before, but sometimes they don't materialize straight away. That's also why we often talk about buy the rumors, sell the news. December 10th is usually, in this case here, as long as it happens, it's a good event. And we all anticipate that to be that way. So people are buying up with the anticipation that that day is going to be good. A lot of volatility on the day, even if the right thing does happen. And sure, we can, of course, continue with the pump. But very often, just before these days, you see a little bit of a sell-off or some additional volatility. Like, for example, now we expect it at 93. Because again, where is the massive impulse going to come from? People buying in based on what? And a major event like December 10th, sure. But as you get closer and closer, this gets scarier and scarier as well. You have to remember that, of course. Now, again, guys, if you've not got a platform to trade on yet, you can find the link down below to 𝗏𝘁𝘀. It's, by the way, just a platform I personally trade on. And I think it should be linked down below there. If it's not, then that obviously would be my bad. But no, you can definitely find it there. The first link in the description down below. You can get yourself a nice little 𝗏𝘁𝘀 position for absolutely free. So you may want to check that out. And yeah, those are the most important pieces right here, right? I wanted to call this manipulation again, but people are not taking this serious enough that a massive, interesting wave could hit here before you know it. All right, I can sit here talking about U.S. politics for hours and hours and hours. I can sit here talking about the silver situation and what that means. Why is silver all of a sudden doing so well? Why is CME, the place where people trade their futures, going down on the exact same day silver all of a sudden has the most crazy of breakouts ever? Is it a coincidence? Probably, right? But maybe not, because it's so coincidental. It is all so coincidental. I keep screaming it out. Things are really, really interesting in that front. Let's see here. This is just quickly scrolling through to see if there's any new crazy news coming up. Is gold setting up for another leg higher? How many of you guys are holding gold in the chat box here? Where's the chat box? Where'd it go? Here we go. How many are holding gold? U.S. war with Venezuela could cause a dump. We'll talk about that in just a second, but let's quickly see this. Is gold setting up for another leg higher? The largest U.S. gold ETF, GLD, recorded net outflows of almost $2 billion over 21 days, ending Wednesday last week, the highest since May. This marked one of the largest withdrawals over the last 5 years, with, again, funnily enough, call it a coincidence, who is the biggest individual holder in the world of gold? It's Tether, the company they're going with massive fight against. At the exact same time, we have seen the largest, highest outflows since May. That move also represented the largest reversal in history from the plus $9 billion 21-day inflows seen in September. After a healthy technical correction, gold flows are showing signs of capitulation. We expect more inflows ahead. Remember, guys, the largest holder in the entire world of gold is Tether. Now, again, can this just be a coincidence? Sure, but things are starting to get really, really interesting here. I'm just saying they are. Now, somebody just said check the Venezuela situation. So hundreds of flights that would normally pass through Venezuelan airspace begin rerouting after President Trump warns. What did he warn about? He says the airspace above us surrounding Venezuela is now closed in its entirety. It appears that something is about to happen in Venezuela. To all I saw this like a few hours ago. To all airlines, pilots, please consider the airspace around Venezuela closed. Thank you for this attention. I don't know, man. You can think he's an idiot. You can think he's whatever, cocky or whatever, but you can't hate this man for his speeches and posts, man. Like, there will most likely, I don't think there will ever be a president to do it the same way. Who does that? This guy, man. This guy, he has something special to him. I don't know. He has something really, really special to him. You can hate it or love it. 50-year mortgage as well. I keep loving that part too. Let me quickly pull up this situation about Tether's gold, about their hoarding that they've been doing. Let me quickly see if I can pull it up here easily. Let's quickly see. I guess it's also interesting here. The S&P posts its best November's reversal in history, rising 5% since the November 21st lows and closes November green. The S&P just added $2.75 trillion in a week. Remember when I said this is the worst November since 2008 for the S&P and for NASDAQ? All of a sudden, they flipped it around to a positive November. That is crazy. From the worst in 20 years to just a normal, or I guess a solid one. Now, let me quickly find y'all. Ooh, hey, whoever's in the UK here, you better prepare your bottom. UK government to crack down on crypto tax avoidance in 2026. Prepare your bottoms for that, guys. All right, I'm not sure how they're gonna get you, but they will. So, get scared. Crypto industry is now. There we go. This is the post. The crypto industry is now competing with central banks for gold. Tether purchased plus 26 tons of gold in Q3 of 2024, surpassing all official central bank buying. In comparison, Kazakhstan acquired plus 18 tons, Brazil plus 15 tons, and Turkey plus 7 tons. As a result, Tether's gold buying reflected 12% of total central bank purchases and 2% of total global gold demand. The trend strengthened from Q2 when the company bought 24 tons of gold, exceeding Poland and Kazakhstan at 19 and 16 tons. This pushed Tether's total gold reserves to a record 116 tons, making it the largest gold holder outside of central banks. Tether is jumping into the worldwide gold rush. Yeah, Tether is freaking huge. And again, at the same time, after they've done that, they became the biggest holder. All of a sudden, the S&P downgraded their ratings. I think it's quite coincidental. I think it's quite interesting. I keep saying it. It is very, very interesting of a situation. But anyway, I wanted to quickly get that out there. I have to go. I don't have more time to give you guys this news, and I do not want to hold you up. That's why I decided to quickly do a stream, quickly get your news out there, and then I see you guys again in another video, most likely later today or tomorrow, depending, of course, on what news comes out. I want to, again, thank you guys so much for stopping by and saying hi every single day. I appreciate every single one of you. And if you're joining these streams every now and then, I appreciate you too. If you're not done yet, though, last time I ask, make sure you press that like button. It's only been 20 minutes. 50 likes, though, is very, very gracious. You guys have been awesome, all right? Love every single piece of that. You guys have been amazing. I'll see you guys again in another crypto stream video, something like that tomorrow. If something crazy happens, I'll be back earlier. I guess, let's see. But yeah, thank you so much for stopping by and saying hi.